All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our small contracts project. Let's have a look at what we're going to be going over today. Now, today I did inform you that we're going to be going over the complete contract for our Buy Me a Coffee contract. So let's dive right in. First and foremost, you see we have our NAT spec here. This is going to contain a license, which is from MIT, the title, which is Buy Me a Coffee, the author, which is Python Papi, and notice, which is the sort of a description. Now, this contract is for creating a simple funding contract. Next, we have our interface, aggregator v3 interface. This is going to contain the functions that we use. So we have decimals, descriptions, version, latest answer. Then we're going to have our constants and immutables. So you can see here everything is capitalized, letting us know that these are constants and immutables. Plus you can see the keywords here, letting us know which ones are which. So you can see the minimum USD and the precision are constants. The price, feed, and the owner are immutables. Then we're going to move down to our states or stores. You can see here we have our funders and our funder to amount funded. Those are going to be our states. Then we move on to our functions. You can see our first function is going to have a deploy decorator, letting us know that this is our init function. So everything inside of this function gets deployed as soon as we deploy our contract. So you can see the price feed here. Then you can see the owner. We're going to set the owner of the contract as soon as we deploy it, and that's going to be the sender. Then we have this external payable fund function here. And this fund function here is an external. It doesn't do anything but call on the internal fund function. And this internal fund function does all of the work. This function allows users to send funds to this contract. We'll request the minimum amount of money to be sent to the contract, which will be in a USD form. So this internal fund function does all the work and is called by this external fund function. Then we have our withdraw function, which is an external. You can see here, and this function allows the owner of the contract to withdraw the funds sent to the contract. Now, how do we make sure that only we can pull the funds from the contract? We set everything up to only the owner of the contract can withdraw funds, and then we're going to clear everything out once the funds are withdrawn. So you can see here we have about fund funder, address, and self.funders. We're going to erase everyone who funded to the contract. We're going to erase the amounts they funded, and then we're going to erase the list altogether, started from zero for a new contract. Then we do our get ETH to USD rate. You can see this is an internal function also. This can only be called from inside the contract. And you can see here we have an external version of that. So this version is going to call that version. And all this is doing is actually converting the rates of ETH that we get into USD to see that we have more than $5 worth of ETH so we can move forward with the contract. Then you can see here we have our default or fund back function, which we need to actually have our fund function working properly. So that's just set up exactly how the external fund function is. It calls the internal fund function. So no matter how we receive funds to the contract, it's always going to call on that internal fund function and send the funds exactly where they need to be. And then the last thing here, you can see here the price feed aggregator v3 interface. This is just going to set it up so we can take addresses from whatever platform we visit, so we can get the latest price of whatever currency we're checking. And that's the complete Buy Me a Coffee smart contract that we put together. You can see it was short, sweet, and simple. I'll pan over it again from the top so you can see it again. I'll go over slowly if you want to try to put it together yourself and see how things work and see if you can actually recreate it yourself. But yeah, I don't have to run anything because we run it numerous times piece by piece. So you know everything works and you know what everything looks like. So everything is working properly. So with that being said, we are going to be moving forward. In the next section that we started is actually going to be a little bit more complex. And we're going to be tackling a few more complex concepts and theories and then putting together more complex contracts. So look out for that. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.